Hello and welcome back to the Minetrek.net game server. Anywho, it's been a while since my last video, and I'd like to showcase something that we've been working on here. Started off as a small project. I went ahead and exported a small section of a ship, and then with Mad Squirrel and iPanic's help, we created this, the new bridge of the Enterprise D. Well, this is actually version 3, I believe, of that creation. And this is the actual, hopefully, if everybody signs off on it, will be the new bridge of the new project that we are currently working on. And I will be happy to show that to you right now. And then we'll come back and do a little quick tour of the ship. Yes, we are working on a new Enterprise D. Bluephobes has been really busy. I mean, quite busy. In fact, I think he's actually done doing it, masking the hull of the Enterprise D, or what will become the Enterprise D. Blue came up with a new method for doing it, and it greatly sped up the process of how to do it. So he masked this entire ship in one day, virtually one day. And normally it would take me 3 to 5 days to do a ship of this size. Good old Bluephobes, man. The guy's thinking. He got it all done in one day. Anywho, he's over here on the secondary hull. What M did is M took the best models he could find for the Galaxy class, and they went ahead and worked with it and got the model that we're going to use, and then separated it out so we have the Cobra head and, of course, primary hull, and this is the Cobra head, so the top of the secondary hull. And Blue is in the process, as you can see, see here, he's in the process of masking it off, and this is why we mask things off. As you can see, all the extra stone there, and you can see the magenta behind it. When he's done having it all masked off, he'll remove all this extra stone. And let me go ahead and turn my map back on here. Well, my HUD back on so we don't see that ugly little orange line. All this extra stone that you see in here will be gone. And that alleviates, oh God, probably 400,000 blocks easily, maybe even more, probably closer to 500,000 blocks in just one section. So you figure the whole ship's probably close to 1,000,000. Anyways, as you can see, he's in here working, and since the Cobra head has two distinctive sized hangar bay doors, he has a section here that will actually be used down here. After M imported the hull and they started working on it, I went ahead and M had roughed out where he wanted all of the deck lines to go, and then I went back through and put the blue lines through, and we only had to make a couple of minor changes, one of them being so that this deck was lined up with that hangar bay right there, the floor of the hangar bay, and then another one just in the primary hull. But overall, they all lined up pretty well. Didn't take too much to get them all dialed in. And once the masking process is done and the hull is, cleaned up, we'll go through, and probably somebody else will probably do it, but they'll mark out where engineering goes, how big the deflector dish is, the hangar bays, and all that other stuff. That way there we know on the grid here where everything goes, and we can begin the process of putting all the details in on the hull, like where the windows go, where the hatches go, access points, emergency hatches, things like that, so that we don't run into the same problem we did with the Enterprise E, Voyager, and Defiant. We're going to learn our lesson eventually. M's over working on the Enterprise E. I'll have an update on that pretty soon here. There's not really much to tell you about on the Enterprise E. It's just, we're filling in the deck, starting at the bottom, working our way up, and we're up, I think, up to deck 20 now from the bottom, and it's like 29 decks or something like that. Anyways, I don't remember. But he's over there putting windows on it, and it's a bear. Kind of warned him. Yeah, kind of warned her, excuse me, my apologies. Yeah, it was going to be a bear to do that. Yeah, as you can see here, Blue started mapping out where the hangar actually is going to be. It's going to be a pretty massive hangar. This is going to be a freestanding build. We will use the Ed Whitefire plans as a guideline, with the Rick Steinbach plans as to help augment, plus a lot of our own designs, because neither one of those plans are truly complete plans for the Enterprise D. Granted, they're really nice plans. The Ed Whitefire plans are real basic, and in my opinion, they're so basic they're ugly. But they work really well for what we're doing here. And the Rick Steinbach plans are really well detailed, but some places they can't be used because they just don't work properly. So we're going to use a combination of those two plan sets and our own stuff. Well, anyways, here's the bridge module. As you can see, it's up here. And what Bluephobes did for me is he went ahead and did that up for me, and I copied that down here in a series of well, I guess revision attempts. This is the one that's undone. As you can see, the actual Ed Whitefire plans for the ship here. Then there's the bridge module. The yellow denotes where I've made changes to the exterior of it. In most cases, there may be some areas up there that changed that I didn't mark. And this is the third version of the new Enterprise E bridge. Originally, we did a bridge up. I'll show you over here. It's Bluephobes moved it over here. This is the mock-up that I did with iPanic and Mad Squirrel. Mad Squirrel and iPanic doing most of the interior design of this bridge, but the deck layout and all that stuff I pretty much did myself just because it's so complicated. And you wouldn't think it would be so complicated, but it is truly complicated. And again, this is a merger of the Ed Whitefire plans and the Rick Steinbach plans. This bridge won't be used in the ship. This one will probably be stuck either in the Venture or the Galaxy class. And the reason for it is it's not quite, well, the bridge itself, believe it or not, fits block for block pretty much right into the Enterprise D, but everything else doesn't. So the bridge module, that's why we went ahead and used this bridge module with slight modifications for the actual Enterprise D. But I did. I spent, I don't know, 4 or 5 hours yesterday just doing outline work, and then another 3-4 hours with Bluephobes working on it, and probably another 6 hours for the day before trying to do stuff. And then I just went over here and I was like, well, I need a map. So, well, you know what? I think this might fit. And I went ahead and grabbed just the bridge module and set it in there, and when I placed it, I had it just this half, and I could not believe how perfect this bridge fit inside of that module, which is the same module that's down here. It fit pretty much perfectly, and it blew me away. So I went ahead and mirrored the other half of this, which is over at the front of the Enterprise D project, and put it in there and decided, well, I'm going to leave it. I'm going to let M. Heller and others take a look at it and see what they say. And I guess M was kind of miffed at first, and then realized, you know, hey, actually this is a pretty nice bridge if this will work. And I think she went ahead and did the measurements herself and found out that it was a pretty darn close fit. So what she had me do, she had me raise this deck by 1. So this actual bridge module sits 1 deck higher than in this version than it does in this version. So up here it's actually 1 deck higher. So if you count the blocks, you'll see that it's actually 1 additional block. That allowed for us to avoid what we ran into with the original design, the depth, because this would be 1 block lower, so you'd be looking down into the captain's ready room instead of kind of at an angle at it, which is kind of nice. It's still a little bit on down there, but you really not much you can do with a hull like this. Anyways, so what I did is I went ahead and did that. Then Bluephobes came on over and he helped me work out a lot of details and spacing and helped me with the centering and all that other stuff and a lot of block placements. And then I just spent a lot of time going through the ship here, setting up stuff. Now granted, this is just, at this point, the blocks are just here as marker blocks. This may or may not actually be our final design for anything. Well, deck plan's pretty much locked, but for the actual kind of interior blocks we're going to be using, like if we're going to use this or not, because again, this was actually designed for the Venture and the Galaxy class, so I don't know if we're going to use it for, or excuse me, Galaxy X class. I don't know if we're going to actually use it for the Enterprise D version. So these blocks here and this color scheme may or may not change. I don't know. It's really up to the guys and what they want to do. Guys and gals, what they want to do. Anyways, all these rooms are in. Again, there are a few extra rooms and some slight changes from the Ed Whitefire plans. And instead of like with the Steinbach plans, that stairwell would actually be back here. I went in and just put a Jeffries tube, and I also routed a turbo lift here, which comes, if you follow this, it goes over to the other bridge turbo lift. It just kind of makes a little jog right here, up in here. So I'll have to make plans for that on deck 2 here, or was it deck 3? I don't know. But Overall, she's going along pretty smooth. It's kind of a bear working with the Enterprise D. If anybody's ever tried to build one, they know what I'm talking about. It's a real drag trying to get everything lined up and everything else. But if we fly through here, you can kind of get a feel for how it is and how it's going to look. And it's kind of neat. I gotta say, seeing it come together and being able to get things spaced out and little nooks and crannies in where they need to be in and stuff like that is kind of a joy. Um, huh. These, I believe, are old versions. They need to be removed. Yeah. Yeah. You see me do some work on recording here. How about that? Yay! Anyways, we'll spin around here and take the stairwells. Take this path back up to the bridge. Put a little bathroom in here. This might actually turn out to be like an OD injection or something. I don't know. Emma will have to come through and she'll have to label all of these for me as to what they are, and then we'll go from there. Another little private bathroom for the lounge up here. Again, another little Jeffrey's tube access point. Anyways, here's the lounge. This is kind of a rough lounge. This by no means would be the actual finished lounge, because I'm pretty sure the guys are going to be like, this is ugly. We must fix this. And they probably will. Now, I've already raised, go back up here to the bridge. I've already raised that lounge up by one block, and then I raised the ceiling. I didn't raise the ceiling, I just removed it and used half slabs, stone half slabs. So this could actually probably go up again, and I don't know. We'll have to look at it creatively, see what we want to do with it. Anyways, I wanted to show you this real quick. In the Ed Wirefire plans, there's a door right here to get in behind the system panels that are on the bridge. All I did is I moved the door to back here. So, yeah. And we'll just go ahead and fill this in real quick. Again, I don't know what we're going to use for blocks and interior-wise in here and all that, so we will wing it and see what happens. There we go. All uniform now. I like uniform. Anyways, go ahead and take this Jeffrey's tube up, yeah. And the magenta, of course, would be ship hull. So here's the bridge. It's really, I mean, we did put a lot of work into the shaping and sizing of this bridge. Initially, the original Enterprise D bridge, I think, is only about that wide. And if you go on it, it's not a bad, it's just a box. And we want to get as far away from a box as possible. So this is the design the guys came up with. And I gotta say, I mean, Mad Squirrel and I Panic, they hit it out of the park reworking this bridge. And you do when you get on it, apart from the fact I'm using Gamma Bright. Let me go and turn Gamma Bright off here real quick. It kind of does feel like the Enterprise D's bridge. I mean, I don't like the gray, but what can you do? It's Minecraft for you. We'll go over here and take a look at Picard's ready room. You can see what I mean. Here's the fishbowl. He stands right here, but normally he'd be looking out the ship, and there's just no way to do that unless he's like up here or up higher, and the exterior design of the Enterprise D does not lend itself to that in any way, shape, or form. Here we go. This is what a lot of people run into these problems with. Now, I did overcome this slightly with the Galaxy build because I actually changed the exterior and layout of the interior parts so that I could actually stand on it and look straight out. Can't do it with the Enterprise D. It's too unforgiving. I'm not sure why that is that way. Let's go ahead and do some things here. Let's go ahead and first we're going to, these artifacts from the previous versions are all over there. Anyways, yeah, we'll put the coffee dispenser Picard thing there. I might have to kick somebody. Hold on. Please don't do things like this. I'm typing with a broken finger, by the way. If he does it again, I shall have to kick him from the server. Anywho, and a little head up here, and of course, no way out. So you gotta put a stone slab down. Alrighty, let's go ahead and see if we can. Hey, about that. I'll fix that so that you don't need a power button to use it. But I think somebody just put it there for giggles. Anywho, that's pretty much it. That's what we're doing on the Enterprise D. It's our new latest project. We are still working on Enterprise E, but we're just taking a break. Some of us are taking a break working on other projects. Mad Squirrel's working on the Rhode Island. Waffles, uh, I guess we call him Ben. So Ben's over there. He's finished his work on the reversion of the Nova, and oh gosh, I Panic, Mad Squirrel, Ben, and I think a couple other guys are over there working on it as well, working on the refit of the Rhode Island. And I hate to say it, I mean overall that Rhode Island's had more owners than a Filipino hooker during Fleet Week. Um, so it's really good to see that it's actually finally getting done, and it's looking pretty good. But it's still got a long ways to go. The hull is absolutely, to coin a phrase, it's really sublime looking. Matt Squirrel did a really nice job on contouring it and stuff. And I'll showcase that later after I talk to Matt, because I think Matt will probably want to be on recording when that's actually being done. Looks like we got a bit of a thing here that needs to be fixed. See if that's correct. And herbal leaves. Good. Good. Yeah. Anywho, I do appreciate you watching. Again, this is the Minetrek.net game server. If you would hit that like button for me, I greatly appreciate it. You can also visit us on Facebook and hit us there, like us there. Anyways, thanks again for watching, and have a great day. Bye-bye.